fresh surrender. I humble myself before you. You are the Lord of my life, tender with compassion. Fresh surrender, all of your love is in my life. You are the one who makes me free, tender.
Steve and I were doing outreaches at my dad's church in Southern California. And we would go into the park, and we were having Monday night youth rallies, like at the church. And we were trying to reach the youth of the community. And we started our little band right there. And one of the guys that was had a dramatic change in his life, came to Christ in one of those Monday night rallies, became our guitar player, and also wrote many of our songs, like Fresh Surrender and others. And so we kind of began that with doing those outreaches and the rallies at the church.
So comes along this contest in our denomination. It was called Teen Talent Search. So Tim and I decided, hey, let's try out for the duet. It was duo or group, So we obviously approached the duet thing. We made it to the nationals with Teen Talent Search, and we came in second place. And it was very inspiring to us. It was like, wow,
You got a trophy.
Yeah, brought home a trophy.
We have a picture of it.
And I think that, and our brother Gary, was what really inspired us to.
And he took us with him on his revivals.
And we had those musicians that within the church that we started our little band with. So
that's right.
Yeah.
Jesus is the answer.
We were talking earlier about Andraé Crouch. Being there in the very early days of what we were doing. And we hadn't recorded anything yet. And we get introduced to this man, and he took a liking to us. We needed some more songs to do a full album. And he said, well, yeah. He said, I've got this one song that I've finished. But he said, I've got one that I'm working on right now. And he said, I've got the first verse and the chorus, but I still have to write the second verse to us. Well, there happened to be a piano in one of the offices at that building. And so we go in there, and he sits down and he starts playing this song. And we're like, wow, this is cool. You know how Andraé played piano. It was just amazing. And so he starts singing, Jesus is the answer for the world today. And he sings it, and he goes into the first verse. And then he gets to the second verse, and it's na na na, because he hadn't written it yet. And he said, I still have to write. So they started working on the second verse.
Yeah,
right.
We sit there
right there, and we're watching him do this. And that song and a song called "It Won't Be Long, Then We'll Be Leaving Here" were the two songs that he gave to us. He said, "Yeah, you guys can do this on your album." And that was incredibly generous because Jesus is the answer. It's a part of, that's the Jesus movement. The Jesus movement, Jesus music, it's Jesus. And he is the answer for today. He's still the answer
for today. Absolutely. Well, I entered the group at about 1976. I was 16 years old. The Archers had a girl that had been with them for quite a while. Her name was Nancy Short. Beautiful voice and a sweetheart of a girl. And I was one of the first official Archer fans behind my parents and my brother. But if my other two brothers would have been me. I was just a crazy little fan. I found some letters I had written in the attic one day, and I was writing to my brothers, and I was talking all about their music, and I was just a 12, 13-year-old little girl, and I was just an incredible fan. But she decided to get married and had to leave the group so she could start her new life. So they came to my dad and my mom, and they asked if I could. I was a junior in high school, and they said, what do you think about this? And they came to Dad and he said yes. Mom said no, he said yes, and Dad won. And so I got into correspondence and then started singing with my brothers. They had to teach me how to sing, that's for sure. And then the first album I ever did with the Archers was Fresh Surrender, and it's the black and white cover. A lot of people might remember that cover. It's kind of just faces and hair. And thank our dad for great hair, right? Big, thick Archer hair. But anyway, that was the first cover I ever did with them, the first album I ever sang.
Yeah.
And just jumped into it. And it was just a really special thing. Those family harmonies were really kind of special and magical. And I don't even know how to articulate that, except that we all three felt something when we would sing together.
Yeah.
Those harmonies made you feel something.
Blend.
Yeah.
Truly
Then you
became the sibling harmony.
let alone the fact then we got to sing about the one we all loved the most, that had, the God who had the greatest impact on all of our lives.
Yeah.
It was really
special. We were kids that were really, we had parents who really loved God and really believed what they preached and lived it. And we all had an experience with Christ.
Absolutely.
And the Holy Spirit. And it changed our lives. And I think that's the thing that sustained us through the years,
totally.
in spite of anything that's come against us, and a lot's come against us.
Give us this day our daily bread.
We were part of a collective project called The Lord's Prayer, written by Donnie McGuire and Barambo, and there were so many artists on it. I can't even list all.
Thomas.
Yeah, I mean,
Cynthia Clausen.
so many artists on
Walter Hawkins, the Hawkins
and
family.
songs had been written from each line of the Lord's Prayer, and our song was Give Us This Day. And we had recorded the song, fell in love with the song, put it on this Legacy Live album that's going to be out soon. And so anyway, so we went to New York, we rehearsed it, we performed it. I just remember that that night, it was about a 9-minute segment of the Grammys, of the live telecast that they gave to this compilation project that had been nominated. And so in Radio City Music Hall, we were underground, and there was an artist on the stage that started, but one by one, a song would end, and the next artist would step up and sing the next section of the song. And I just remember, for me personally, getting to the bottom of that step and looking out, and just right there on the front row, I just remember, you're singing this song, but in your head you're going, well, that's Barbra Streisand. Oh, that's the Bee Gees. Oh, well, that's Diana Ross.
That's Olivia Newton-John.
That's Olivia Newton-John. It was just, I don't even remember being nervous. I remember being so overwhelmed at what God had done, the door he had opened, because I knew that no gospel music had ever been live on the telecast before. And when we finished the song, they stood to their feet.
Okay.
So we all ended together holding hands and raising our hands to the Lord. They gave us a standing ovation. And I don't know if it's still the longest running recorded ovation given on the Grammys to an artist that had performed. But
it was powerful.
It was a powerful moment. I had chills from head to toe. They all felt Jesus. I'm telling you, they felt the power of God, even if they didn't fully understand it. But it was a beautiful moment that I'll never forget. And we won that night, so we
all won.
That was a great memory.
Picking up the pieces of my
One of the reasons that we wanted to do this project, Tim said it so well, I'm just kind of repeating him, but I love the way he said it one day. He said, I really wanted to do this project. These are fan-voted, fan-favorite songs that are on this project and some of our biggest hits. And he said, but I really wanted to do this project for the God that, that saved us and gave us the incredible music that changed our lives. We, in turn, got to record it because we'd hear the songs and sing them and be very moved and impacted by the words of these songs and the anointing that was on those songs. But then we wanted to do it to honor also the fans that supported all of the music and to celebrate the change in their lives as a result of all this music.
Well, I was listening to the playback of the concert, just a plain mix. I'd pull into the garage at the house and I'd be listening to that, and tears were coming down. I'm rediscovering our own songs, and I'm sitting there crying about Make Me an Instrument and all these songs. I'm like going, so God kind of put it in my heart, well, you got to do this. You got to do that.
Make it an album.
Make it an album. But this record really reflects, I think, the heart of our sound and our hearts.
Yeah.
And
the early days.
And the early days.
Jesus music.
It's been really, really beautiful to relive all these songs and to relive this recording process with my brothers again has been a great honor, I think, for me and for the guys to be together to do it. But to relive these songs has been really moving.
Yeah.
And also understanding that, you know, the messages of these songs, you know, have touched people's lives way back then and even to this day. And they're a current message, you know. It's
timeless.
It's about the Lord. It's about Jesus. It's about also relating that to life, you know.
And who he is.
How he picks up the pieces of our lives, you know.
Not being ashamed.
And how he allows us, you know, to have a fresh surrender. It says his mercies are new every morning. So there's a fresh surrender to the Lord.
I definitely think the Archers were very kind of unique and definitely one of a kind when they in the industry for, you know, during the time that the Lord had us out there traveling and touring and recording and doing appearances and all of that. And certainly God in his graciousness and his favor just was opening doors, you know, that we've talked about a little bit, where we're at the White House, we're at Madison Square Gardens, we're on these talk shows that nobody's on in Christian music yet. So he puts the vision in you, and then he, you know, you the bottom line is you gotta work hard, right? You gotta give God something to work with and men something to respect. And so hopefully that's what we did well, is that we gave people something to respect and the excellence that we tried to bring in the music that we made for him, because he was the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. He deserved our best. I hope that the music, as people's ears hear it for the first time, no matter what age you are or what genre you prefer, I just pray that you'll give it a listen, and perhaps your life will be impacted in a way that really it leaves a lasting moment between you and God.
That's our hope.
Yeah.